We're crossing to the Ukrainian Foreign Minister, who is speaking at the moment, Dmytro Kuleba.
We're also working to make sure that the cryptocurrency will not become a safe haven for Russian money. The ability of Russia to sell gold has also been blocked. We're also blocking the attempts to bring money to third countries and to rebuild their business. Our position is simple. If we are going to block the sources of Russian economy, then you have to do it fully. That's the only way to stop the aggression by creating internal pressure on President Putin. We are not stopping at the sanctions already imposed. While Ukrainian children die under Russian bombs, sanctions are not enough. I must tell you that in my talks with our partners, I hear often such an argument that letters that we have already imposed unprecedented sanctions, we will continue to impose them. We've never had such sanction experience, and we have to make a pause and see how the sanctions already imposed work. And I say directly to this. And this morning, I also said to one of the European Foreign Minister, until the war, as long as the war lasts and Russia kills our citizens, the sanctions must continue to be imposed, new sanctions. And we have a specific list of sanctions which we want to be imposed, and we are going through this list item by item. We are now at the threshold of the introduction of the fourth round of EU sanctions. It will be sanctions against legal entities and Russian companies, especially in the defense industry, Russian defense industry. I don't have to explain anything there. We will exert maximum pressure to sabotage to stop the Russian war machine. The EU, the United States have already rejected Russian oil. We are working hard to make sure that the European countries will do the same. Germany is still a challenge because it's quite a difficult decision for them. But even we're working with them too, and we believe that they will hear us eventually, and they will approve the decisions which will help balance the situation in Germany and will help stop Russian gas and oil into Europe. The Russian oil, gas and coal are drenched in Ukrainian blood. We keep telling this to our partners and to the European mass media. Every dollar is paid to the Russian war machine, which is killing Ukrainians and undermining European security. I want to use this opportunity to express a specific demand and a call to Western companies: stop buying Russian oil, gas and coal. We also insist that world ports be close to Russian ships, that they should refuse to handle Russian cargoes, the cargoes that are addressed to the Russian Federation, to disconnect other Russian banks from SWIFT, in particular the Russian Sberbank. The international companies are refusing to work with Russia en masse. We work with managers of those companies. We try to explain the threats with them, what their work on the Russian markets entails. I also want to thank to all the Ukrainian communities and activists abroad who, at their own initiative, who pressurize those companies why it's not good to work in Russia from all points of view. We are grateful to you for your initiative and efforts. Don't stop. The international business should leave Russia both for moral and pragmatical reasons. First, work in Russia is reputational causes reputational damage. Nobody wants to be associated with a war criminal. Second, the Russian economy is closing a catastrophe, a crash. The Russian economic policy is more and more unpredictable. Companies try to escape to they have to rescue their capital from the rubbles of Russian economy. The Russian government already threatens nationalization. International capital must understand these risks and minimize them. 3 weeks of war, and you can see that Putin has already ruined Russia's reputation as a business partner and business climate. 209 companies have fully left the Russian market and stopped cooperation with Russian partners. More than 200 limited their work. We know those companies. We're not content with their position. We see their tricks to try to stay on the Russian markets, and we will continue to exert pressure on them. The list I've just presented, it's a list of the most famous companies, the world giants, who are systematic for the Russian markets, and they are leaving the markets, and they create huge gaps, holes on the Russian markets, which will affect Russian consumers. There's also a list of companies who didn't leave Russia. This is Ashan, Metro, and others, Pirelli, and Hotels Accorda, Intercontinental Hotels. As for machine building, Honeywell, Mohawk Industries, Arconi Cosmetica, Oriflame, Kimberly-Clark, Eco, Salvatore Ferragamo, Philip Morris, in the food industry, Papa John's, Kellogg's, in the medicine, Bayer, Bankers Raiffeisen, Citigroup, City General, Unicredit, and São Paulo. Once again, I urge them to leave the Russian market as soon as possible. The consumers should boycott those companies until they stop working in Russia. Russia must be stopped now, using all available resources. And while the Ukrainians are stopping Russians paying with blood and ruin cities, the least those companies can do is leave the Russian market and help us thus to stop the machine of Russian aggression. The results of the Russian economic crash led to a changed relative parity between hryvnia and ruble. In Russia, the average wage is now $350. When in future it will be $270, and now the average wage is about $500 a month, and hryvnia is not falling radically. Thus, in near future, the Ukrainians will live better. This is the result, better than the Russians. This is the result of Putin's aggression against Russia. Every day of this war makes Russians poorer. We're also working with international partners over a large-scale financial support for the Ukrainian economy and business. The Ukrainian Prime Minister and President, the whole government, every day are rebuilding the economy in such a way to create the most comfortable conditions for Ukrainian citizens and Ukrainian enterprises. Our businessmen and enterprises are having a hard time now. The government is doing all they can to create soft conditions for the Ukrainian business. Thank you. This is everything. Those were 3 days of intense work without sleeping, with high emotions. Today, when I had another international telephone call, one of my colleagues, the Minister foreign affairs of one of European companies said, friend, you've shouted at us, you've shamed us, you've urged us and over the past 3 weeks, and it was important for us to mobilize and to approve the necessary decisions. Those were 3 difficult weeks, not very diplomatic, but this is war, and this is war diplomacy. But the main thing is that we have results, which I have just described to you. And the second point is that we are not stopping, we are moving forward, and we will complete this matter, and we will win, and for the whole world who wants to live in peace and security.